Okay, good afternoon. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Public Utilities Commission to order for Monday, November 5th, 2018. Please rise, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Let's see, Marius is here. You are the member of the public. Do you have anything to say? Okay. Correspondence, Kathy, no late breaking correspondence? All right, next order of business is acceptance of the meeting minutes from the regular meeting of October 15th. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any changes? Any discussion, corrections, etc.? All right, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Nope, we're all here. Great. Financials, invoices. I'll kick this off by putting a motion on the floor to approve the document entitled Invoices for PUC Approval, regular meeting November 5, 2018, in the amount of $739,198.52.
I'll second that one.
Yes, once we catch our breath.
Yes.
Obviously, the big dog in here is the City of Danbury sewer bill. Bob, did you want to comment on that at all?
Yeah, I mean, that's a little lower than last year. Last year was a little bit over $1 million. There was a credit that came in because we prepaid the usage. I suspect next year it's probably going to be back up to somewhere around $1 million. We're not going to pay this all at one time. We'll pay it over it'll be paid in full by June 30th of next year. So we'll either make 3 payments or 4 payments.
So you're asking for approval for the entire amount, but you're going to break it up
We've
into.
done that in the past, the same way, and Danbury accepts the payments as we send them.
Okay.
They've never had a problem with that.
Okay. Great.
Storage is expensive.
On the Weston and Sampson, they were supposed to have an update and report by the end of October?
Yes, they had some overnight work. They wanted to do one more check, and they got the data from their consultant last Wednesday. Bob Tedeschi said he would get me the report Wednesday of this week, and he'll schedule a meeting with me for next week to go over it, and he'll be prepared to appear before the PUC at the next meeting.
Okay. Great.
Bob, I just have a question on the appropriation to the City of Danbury. And I don't know, maybe Marty needs to comment on it, because, we're paying them quarterly. Shouldn't just the amount due be the quarter of that dollar amount now?
Well, the amount that's due right now is the full amount.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, I've talked to Dave St. Hilaire, who's the controller over there. They don't have a problem with us paying them quarterly or, in thirds. So, there's no finance charge on it, so why should we send them the full amount?
Well, but you're asking for the full amount now.
Yeah, we've always done the same thing in the past, for the whole amount. I mean, if you want to just approve a third of it,
Well, why don't I'll make a suggestion. I'll amend the motion to approve 739,198.50.52, and with regard to City of Danbury, authorize the full amount to be broken into quarterly installments.
Okay.
How's that?
that's fine.
Okay? Did you still second? Did you second?
Paul?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
So we won't see this bill again until next year.
This time, yes.
Right.
And next year, this time, it could be, like I said, maybe back up to $1 million. Because last year, we paid about 1.1, maybe not $4 million, but we had a credit that reduced it down to the 690. The other thing that may come into play and talk about this is the upgrades to the plant.
Well, yeah, they've got to vote on that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think
tomorrow.
that's roughly about, what, 110 million? And of that is 20%.
I think we're at 16% usage, so,
We'll be close to about 20.
yeah.
Yeah. No, the question, just capitalizing on what Rich said, now, we won't see, when you're gonna send it in on a quarterly basis, It won't be posted here at all, will it?
It would what?
We won't post anything.
Well, he can report on it.
You can report on it, but,
When I give you the monthly reports,
Yeah.
it's gonna be included in there. The payment City of Danbury or contracted services is gonna include the amount that we made upstairs.
we'll-
They'll show up monthly as Bob goes over those monthly financial
Yep.
reports.
It's gonna be in there.
yeah, I know, but this is a summation right here, this
Yeah.
page here. It'll show up on your breakdown, but
Correct.
it shouldn't show up in the summation then, should
No.
it? Because we've already,
Only the amount that we paid will show
No,
up on
no,
the page.
these are invoices for approval, so it won't show up again
Okay.
on this.
all right,
You are correct.
all right.
Okay, any other questions? No? Hearing none, those in favor to approve as amended signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, that carries. Director's report, Tom?
Okay, a couple items. I covered the first already with Weston and Sampson, so we should see them here at the next meeting. Looking into two service-related items, one of which, Marty, I'm probably gonna need to send you some info on to have you take a look at. It's another one of these, what they call a passway. I got, the property's 22A Hickok, that driveway that leads up to where the tank was.
The old tank,
There's a couple of properties up there. As you get up there, I think the tank was more to your right.
correct.
There's a property to your left. And he was inquiring about getting services, water and sewer. I think he's on a well and he's on septic. And it's basically a landlocked lot. And he has the right to pass and repass through this passway to Hickok. So my question, and Marty, I'll probably want you to look at some of that language, is, what can we do in terms of utilities?
Well, wouldn't that be at his own expense?
Yeah, I would say so. But
He's got no way to get to it, though, is what he's saying.
does the language allow utilities to be installed, I think is really gonna be the
Who owns the actual passway?
We do.
It looks like as you drive up that passway, the property to the right, it's part of that property. There's language that I saw that says it could be made into a public, I guess they could deed it over to the town to make it a road. When that happens, or if that or when that would happen, the property then would be no longer part of that property.
Yeah, but we already had a right of way to run the water main down there.
Correct.
And the water main is probably still in the ground, except we cut it off at the bottom of the road.
It's in the
So
ground
why
still.
can't he run his water service down that
Well,
easement?
the remainder of his access or passway then goes due to the left, and his property then is further west.
Is this the last house at the very end, that's at the very top of the hill?
It's the
No.
one that was all falling down and they
Yeah.
When you get up to the top of the hill, there's a driveway then that goes left, that runs parallel with Hickok,
So it's
to another nicer house.
Jay Vincent's property?
It's the property next to Jay Vincent.
Oh, okay, all right.
So Jay is, and I mentioned to the property owner, his name was, do you remember his name? Poland,
Was it Leith?
Leith.
Yeah, Leith.
I think Leith Poland, perhaps, but I also told him, hey, see if your neighbor is also interested,
Yeah,
who is Jay Vincent, and Jay Vincent actually owns the lot that the passway is on. So I think they're inclined to want to get services.
I talked to Jay Vincent about that property a couple of years ago, because he wanted the town to participate in repaving that. And our belief at the time was that Jay owned that property and the town had the right to pass and repass, not the other way around.
The town may have the right to pass and repass, the way I read it, but
well-
we looked at it a little bit further by
Yeah.
our expert here, but it could be given to the town, and once it was given to the town as a right-of-way or as a road,
Oh, I see.
then it would be no
Okay.
longer part of the property.
Okay,
But I don't know that the town would ever necessarily want a road going up to those two lots.
yeah, yeah,
And obviously, we still own the lot where the tank was.
Right.
So, that could be to our advantage as well, to get that developed and, do something with that property at some point. So Marty, I think Britt went through, as she was talking to the property owner, I think she made copies of a bunch of volumes and pages, and I'll send you what I have.
Okay.
But it's probably something we need to look at, just to then get back to him with what can be done.
All right.
I don't know that we would necessarily want to run a water main up that right of way.
Well, there's a water main in there now.
There is a water-
It's just been cut off down
Correct,
on the
no,
bottom of the
and
hill.
I understand that, but I don't know if we want to still maintain a water main as opposed to letting them put
That
services
comes
in.
out, yeah.
Okay.
So that was one item. Another kind of out of the ordinary, and I think we brought this up in a meeting several months ago. Marty, you may be familiar with Nashville Road, 34, 34 and a half, 36.
Oh, my God.
We're looking into that in a little bit more detail now. The woman that owns 34, she's got pretty poor pressure. If she's using one fixture and then goes to use another fixture, the pressure drops. So the problem may be on her service, but the problem is, I think there's 4 homes kind of back there, all through this rock ledge. And I think there's some easement language involved, and actually, I think 34 and a half's water service actually goes through the structure of 34.
Someone's house.
Right, so, more to come on that, but it's, something's gotta be done to figure out, where the services are, because typically, we're gonna own it up to the curb valve. And our locations, we couldn't find any curb valves out there, so typically, in that case, you install a curb valve and then make that the defining point between, the town service and the customer service. So the suggestion would be, we get something installed down closer to the road, so we're not dealing with any of that rock ledge, keep that as all part of their service. But it looks like multiple services were probably put in at one point, however they installed it through all that rock. It was probably soft enough, they were able to break through it and just ran multiple services up there. And then to serve the house in the back, they ran the service right through the basement of the house in the front. In fact, looks like it goes through the slab
And
of
again,
the front house. So she's got questions as to, if something happens, is that property owner behind me now responsible? And I was like, I really can't answer that question for you, but it's obviously, not a good situation in terms of the way it's all done.
Yeah, one homeowner in the back, they wanted to run a new line down the driveway. And it was gonna cost a lot of money, but that was still a problem, I mean, it's a real problem.
Yeah, yeah. And it's compounded now, well, maybe not just now, but the service is not real good. It's an old service. So what she's gonna have to do to try to improve it, we gotta be able to put a curb valve in there anyway, so we can shut it down and then do investigation or be able to shut the service off for work to continue.
If I remember right, the woman that had one of the houses in the back that wanted to run it down the driveway, she went to another house that was in the back, I think the one that might come from the roadhouse through the cellar and goes directly to that house. She asked if they wanted to get involved, and what they could do is they would split the cost of running the line, and the person said, nah, not interested.
Okay. Yeah, you have a new property owner now with the house that's, the second house in.
Right.
And I think when he bought it, I think he just closed on it a week or 2 ago. And when Kelly and I were over there looking around, he was actually sitting in his car. As I'm poking around looking at his house, and he all of a sudden came out of his car. I think I startled him, but I think he startled me as well. But he seemed unaware at all that his service ran through his neighbor's house. And then, like I said, it continues on to a third house, 36 and a half. So it's definitely one of those out of the ordinary situations. So we're gonna continue to look at it and see what we can come up with.
all right.
What's next?
I've got a question.
Yes.
You've scheduled a meeting with the rate consultant pretty
Yes, I
soon?
did. Yep,
When's that coming up?
November 20th.
Okay.
I hope you got the invite that I sent.
Yes, I did. I just, brain.
No problem. Yeah, the 20th, I forget what day that is, but I think that's in, 2 weeks from now?
Yep.
And lastly, I did some paperwork with getting our payment requests for the Briarcliff project up to DPH. They've approved them. Their process is, I think they send it out the 13th business day of the month. So in about 2 weeks, we'll get another payment of over $700,000, about $740,000. which
Okay.
should cover the first 9 of the 10 invoices from prior quarter.
25% is a grant, the rest is a loan.
Correct.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Guys have any other questions? All right, moving along, nothing under new business today. Kelly is not with us, so we're going to skip utility supervisor. Old business, PUC capital project. Marius, thank you.
Go through my agenda here. First project, Radcliffe Meadow Booster Station construction, so the final thing he has to do is the paving. And we're basically talking to him if he can do his paving next year, starting in April, because he just put in some of the pavement, so we want to make sure it settles. So that's gonna be done probably next April, after winter time. The water main replacement design, construction now, actually, so there was a pre-construction meeting last week. We met with Grasso companies, they came down. They actually started construction today, they mobilized today, they had some equipment out there, and I think they plan to start cutting the concrete for the water main, you know, the pavement, and
Oh.
they're gonna be going on that, so.
What street?
Sherman, right? Farnham.
And just for everyone's, I should have mentioned, I did send a letter out to all of the Farnham Hill property owners,
Mhm.
just letting them know we'll be starting this week, give them a little bit of idea of what's to come.
Okay.
So, construction start on that one. Additionally, groundwater supplies, Breakstone Field, well, so we worked on the final report, Connecticut DPH, Connecticut DEP, and I talked to Greg Smith today, so the plan is to get the report on by end of November, first week of December, try to get it down to the DEP and the DPH for the final approval. You know, depending on their, how busy they are, you know, the normal, what's listed on the website, it says it could take up to 6 months for the DEP to approve it, but because I've been kept in the loop, you know, we're hoping for more like a 90 days review process to get a diversion permit approved. And then once they're approved, then, you know, we can actually go to the design and get construction of the new well. So that's moving forward. SCADA communication study, so we submitted the final report to the town last week, and then I've been talking to Tom, and we're gonna be scheduling a presentation to the PUC, so I'm gonna jump out and meet you, come in with the author of the report, our instrumentation engineer, and basically make a presentation, what we found, what we recommend moving forward with the SCADA project. So I'm still working with Tom on a date, you know, to try to schedule that. I think Tom is trying to get Weston Sampson here first, and then we'll come in and do the presentation on the SCADA study. In the Chestnut Rig Tank, I guess we'll be meeting after today's meeting to talk about the next steps. So
Mhm. Okay.
that's it.
Do we look positive with the real estate people, I mean, owners or not?
With the property?
Yeah,
We'll have an executive session probably in about 5 minutes
oh, okay, fine.
on that topic. All right, great.
Let me go back to one issue right here while we have Marius here. This water main replacement design, you're starting on Farnham, and the question comes down to, I know you're going to alert the people on Farnham Hill. Are you going to give them a schedule when an anticipated completion? Because I think that being this around the holidays and everything else, people would appreciate that if we can give them sort of a schedule.
I didn't give them a schedule. I'm prepared to talk to anyone with questions. I did get a call from one woman and explained to her, I guess she has her house for sale.
Uh-huh.
So she was wondering, how is that gonna impact me? I was reluctant to be too,
Yeah, I know, with, you know,
Specific with schedule,
with
because
winter
sometimes-
coming on and all that,
Yeah,
that's gonna be
yeah.
the main concern.
yeah, they're gonna be working into December. The idea to get Farnham done, because it was a hill, I wanted to try to
Right.
get that paved while
Right.
the asphalt plants were open. His schedule has him paving it that second week in December.
Okay,
So he should be in and out before, Christmas certainly.
all right, all right.
How are we doing on Hoyts Hill? Did they finish the punch list?
Basically, I think they got one little thing we're gonna make them do here, and then I think we would be coming back probably at the next meeting to recommend, the final amount that we're holding on his last invoice. I think he gave us his last invoice for $80,000. I think we probably paid 2/3 or 3/4 of it.
$15,000 left.
Yeah,
or
so
something.
we were holding this last.
What's
chunk.
the holdup specific?
We were just waiting for him to basically finish everything before we were gonna give him any more money at that point.
That was the question, what's the holdup?
What's the holdup?
I mean,
What's been the holdup? Yeah.
apparently he doesn't want his money.
That's all I can come up with, really.
Yeah.
But I have to say, the owners, people on the street there, I've been around walking, he says, great job, guys. Looks great
Yep.
Yeah.
in comparison to what we had before.
Performance wasn't there.
It just took an extra year, but, right.
Still make money on the job.
And we're still
And
gonna
he's still
have his
making money.
retained
They
earnings.
were paying for $60,000.
Apparently 80,000,
Yeah.
at least in profit.
Okay.
You just couldn't jump on that list.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, that's been the problem for 18 months now.
Yeah, I haven't gone up to see.
Okay, any other questions for Marius? All right, hearing none. Tom, how are we doing on the fog?
I don't have anything further for today on Friday.
Okay. All right, so we'll carry that over to the next agenda, because you're still working on some of the fines and the details, okay. All right, so I'm going to make a motion that we enter executive session to discuss property acquisition, inviting in Kathy Galbus. Bob, do you want to stay?
Do you want me to? I can stay if you want.
Yeah. It's money.
Yeah, that's money, sure. So comptroller and the town attorney. So is there a second?
Second.
So we just take that one?
Those in favor?
Pretty good?
I got your data,
Yeah,
which
okay.
I'm gonna hand
Okay,
out.
so you guys all set?
I can probably answer the
Okay,
questions.
okay, sounds good. yeah.
Well, do you want to have Marius in?
I mean, we're getting to the end. I don't think it's gonna be long.
Okay, I'm gonna invite Marius then too, because we'll explain the
Get our money's
technicalities.
worth out of him, you know?
it's early, it's only been a 20-minute meeting. so.
And actually, my handout is gonna be what the Mary is
Yeah.
prepared for.
Okay.
Yeah, and Tom, yeah. All right, so those in favor? Aye. All right, so as soon as Kathy shuts down the recording materials. All right, great. We are out of executive session at 4:42 PM. And I'm going to put a motion on the floor to authorize the town attorney to negotiate the acquisition of property on behalf of the Town of Bethel and Public Utilities Commission, as discussed.
Second.
Okay, any further questions? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that carries. And now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, great. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
See, Marius?